exterminate! Well, Tommy and friends, we all think, at least I think, of what we were doing exactly 10 years ago today. And I was based on my last helicopter tour of Scotland because it is the only way to travel. So I got to Edinburgh Airport and it was a day like this and the helicopter couldn't take off. So he said, what will we do? I said, well, why don't we do a bit of campaigning in Linlithgow and Stirling? By the time we got to Linlithgow, out of nowhere, thousands of people had turned up to show their support for yes. By the time we got to Stirling, 10,000 people appeared on the high street. I led one contingent down the way, Dennis Canavan led one contingent up the way. We're here today to demonstrate that we can recapture that mood of optimism, determination, of people wanting to reclaim their country. That's what we have to do. And every one of these people, just about, were brandishing this publication, the wee blue book, which 500,000 were produced, 3,000 proper ones and 200,000 bootleg versions. They were produced by Wings Over Scotland, the Reverend Stuart Campbell. I was having another look at it this morning. The beauty of this publication was the clear, simple arguments for independence. And in the first 2 pages, he presented 5. Firstly, that this nation of Scotland has the right of self-determination. We have the right to choose the governments that we want and the policies that we want. Secondly, we're a wealthy country. If we hadn't been wealthy, then Margaret Thatcher would have privatised us 40 years ago. If we weren't wealthy, they wouldn't be so anxious to hang on to us. Thirdly, that we have the resources in this country to give every single citizen a decent living and life expectancy. We're the first country in history to discover oil and gas and get poorer, but we've got a renewable reserve in our continental shelf which can produce 10 times the electricity that we require. How can we have a land of fuel poverty amid such energy plenty? It's not acceptable, fellow citizens. And fourthly, the wee blue book said that we've got nothing to fear from independence, all the scare stories that we would have to drive on the other side of the road, that Scotland would drift up towards the North Pole and nobody would speak to us anymore. We're just that. They were smears and scare stories. Mind you, there was one weak argument in the Wings prospectus. In the fourth argument he said we'd still be able to watch the BBC, which is not the strongest argument for independence that I've ever heard. But the fifth argument is the big one. And that is that the democratic argument, once it's settled, we are going to be accepted by the rest of the world, by the rest of Europe. Whether it's EFTA, whether it's European Union. Believe it or not, we're actually a popular country. I've never quite worked out why, but every member of the Tartan Army who goes overseas knows what a popular country Scotland is. We've got friends and allies across this planet who will rally to our cause when we take that step of independence. But we have to take the step. And we've got to end the long series humiliations, capitulations and surrenders in this country. We have a zombie parliament in Holyrood just now. They've had 10 years of mandates for a referendum and they have done nothing. Our biggest industrial facility is threatened with closure and they stand by and do nothing. Hundreds of thousands of pensioners are threatened with fuel poverty this winter and they do nothing. That has to end. No more capitulation from our Parliament. We have an election in 18 months' time. And to coin an advertising slogan, the independents MSPs elected have to be the real thing. People who believe in national self-determination, who are willing to sacrifice for national self-determination. I intend to lead a group with others to bring a majority into that parliament. That will be the mandate for independence. We're not going to get another referendum because Westminster are scared shitless of granting one. We have to claim an electoral mandate, and that's what we're going to do. We have to take some adults back into the room of Holyrood. People who believe in their country. We're going to reclaim the Parliament for the people, and we're going to save Scotland and save our country. Thank you very much.